Hello, and very warm welcome, everyone. It's Marta here. Welcome back. Today, I have a fairly simple card, yet I wanted to share with you a couple of the tricks you may want to try to help to elevate your card to a next level. This is going to be a simple card. There's no complicated composition or any like pop out special 3D shape. However, I do think that you can create any special card even with the simple composition, and this is a couple of the things I'm doing. First and foremost, I like to upgrade the size. If you create your card slightly bigger than what you normally do, they do appear a little bit more special. So if you're making A6 card, try to go with 5x7, or if you do 5x7, maybe try if you can fill up the A5 size card. Another thing which I really like to do for that very special look is to dress up the card on all four sides. Rather than just putting a paper on the front panel, I'm choosing a very delicate light color, probably like very pale pastel tone paper, and I'm dressing it on all four sides. Obviously, the design paper can be expensive, so my trick is to use the digital papers. If you buy some nice digital papers, you can print them over and over again, and for this card I actually print the design twice, and I have enough to dress up the card on all four pages. So what I like to do, I add that same paper to the inside and the back side, and then I will do slightly different thing on the front just to have this nice look. For my card, I also like to use the punches. Instead of using any complicated die, I choose the punch because first and foremost, it's a very quick and easy. And secondly, with the punches, you can actually extend your pattern. So no matter how big your card is, you can always make that extra punch and extend the border. So I do love those Martha Stewart borders, and some of them you can also purchase in a set with the corner punch, which will mean that you'll be able to create this frame all around, to create the frame around your paper, not just the strip. And this is a great investment, and I have my punches for years and I've been using them over and over again. And what you can see here, those two strips, they were actually leftovers, so I didn't even cut the paper to create those strips. I only use what I have lying on my desk, like leftover from another work. For this front panel, I slightly trimmed the paper so it's gonna be a little bit narrower, so I could fit the strips as well. And here I'm checking if everything will fit nice, or if I still need to trim the paper. I usually eyeball it, I don't measure anything. Once you put your papers on the card, you can see if you've got enough space to fit all or not. What I like to do if I'm using the border punches is to create slightly longer strip than I actually need. And this way, once I'm gluing the strips, I could make sure that they both start at the same point, so the lacy pattern is visually like the same point on both ends, so the loops are kind of on the same level, I would say. And then I'm trimming everything with the guillotine, and I have this beautiful design for the front panel. What I did here, I also add the piece of the cardboard to the back side. This serves two purposes. Firstly, it creates a little bit more sturdiness for the card, and also secondly, this is a little cheat way for using up ton of the square foam or foam tape. This could be expensive, so switching it for a piece of the cardboard is way cheaper, and this way my card is support on all the front, And if I want to do the same thing with the square forms, I would have to put tons of them behind such a large design paper. I also create myself a lovely frame with the die, and this is a doily from SIZZIX, very, very old die of mine. I think that was one of the first one I ever bought, like 10 years ago or something, and I really love it and I use it over and over again. I like to cut it from the white paper. However, to help this design to stand out, I've cut additional layer from the same blue color cardstock I use on the side strips, and this way this design is immediately popping out. Those lacy openings around the doily, they are just way more visible, and the card is getting this additional dimension. I raise it up slightly with the foam tape, and I'm adding it to my card slightly towards the upper side rather than in the middle. I'm just gonna leave myself some space for the sentiment and the composition, so I like to slightly move it up so I have more space. Next thing which I quite like to use in my cards to help them to appear more special is to using the chipboards. They are very inexpensive. There's the whole the world is the oyster if it comes for shapes, forms. You have sentiments, you have decorative chipboards, so many of them that for any occasion you need, you can actually find something. And if you don't have the access to the chipboards, try to use up some dies. If you want to use, like, I don't know, any particular die as your focal point, try to cut it 4 or 5 times and add those layers one on top of another, glue them together to create kind of a chipboardy look on your die cut pieces, and they will stand out so nicely, and they will instantly just draw the eye. Whoever will, look on the card, that will be looking really, really special rather than adding a single, layer of the die cut piece. Another thing which I quite like to use to give this special luxurious look is to print my own personal sentiment. If you will add the name or personalized message to the card, that really appears it more luxurious, and you don't really need any graphic skills or anything like that. I'm just open up the computer with the word on it, and I'm just writing down what I need. The good solution is to put the paper, the size of the paper on your monitor to the same size as printable card A4 size, and then I'm just checking if I have the right sizing on a monitor, if the monitor card is displayed the same size as my printable paper. And last thing is to add the composition. I'm planning to give the card in the envelope, so I do avoid adding those bulky handmade flowers, but there's also lots of the elements for the printable ephemera pieces you can use, and these are just great, especially if you need to create the flat card. They just fit here perfectly and they don't add much bulkiness. For this card, because it's very elegant, I've decided to not use the green leaves to fill up my composition. I think that the white one are way more elegant. Plus, what you could see here, I use a little teeny tiny bit of the ink with my finger dabber, and I just went outside the edges of those leaves to give them a little bit more depth and dimension. And this way I have this beautiful design which is very, very elegant. And if you're gonna be making cards for a christening, new baby, a wedding, any special occasion, try to use the white leaves instead of the color one. I think they just looking fabulous, and they have that little luxury touch in it. Another thing I'm using is the string. I used to love adding ribbons, but sometimes they can be bulky and they just cover up too much of the composition. So I do like to use this nylon string, which is used for jewelry making. If you will go to any craft shop where they sell beads and things for jewelry making, they will probably have those strings, and I do think they're just great for adding additional texture to your card. Another thing which I like to do is to add a couple of the pearls. I think they're very delicate, and you know, they bring that special touch to the card. So if you've got any lace or frame, try to dress it up with a couple of the pearls for that special look. I hope you enjoyed this video. This wasn't very complicated card, but I wanted to share a couple of the things I am using in my everyday work, which help me to create those beautiful design and cards. So I hope you will enjoy it. I hope this sparks some joy so you could try and create this luxurious look on your card. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being here and watching. And if you like it, please don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. Thank you once again. I'm wishing you all a fabulous day. Stay blessed and bye-bye.